Hi, so I'm doing another video in the little series that I've been doing based on the 3-day, 2-night solo camping trip that I took to the Los Angeles forest a little bit ago, not long ago, a few weeks ago now. And the reason why I'm doing this series is because people that found out that I went on the trip, or people that knew I was going on the trip beforehand, people that I know personally, family, friends, they were intensely interested in the trip. They were intensely interested. They had lots of questions about it because they, like I before that trip, had never gone camping, or maybe they'd gone camping but never solo camping, and so they had a lot of interest in it. And it made me think too that if they were so interested in it, I mean really interested, that maybe other people may be interested as well. And so I got a lot of questions from those family and those friends about different things, and so I decided to do, well, let me do a little series to kind of series of videos to answer those questions. This is one of those videos. One of the questions that I got, and what this video seeks to answer, is about my food and eating. How did I store my food? What did I carry it in? How actually did I cook it? In the video, which I'll link below, about my trip to the Los Angeles forest, there were a couple of spots where I did outline my food, so I'm not going to talk about the exact food that I brought. If you go to the 54-minute and 5-second mark of that video, you'll see the food that I have. So I'm not going to talk about the food itself because it's there, you can see that. But I will talk about not so much the brands of food that I got and what I got, but I'll talk about the type of food that I got. And also my cooking technique that I used to cook it, as well as how I stored it. So now, as far as the type of food that I got, backpacking food can come in two different types as far as I've seen on the YouTube videos that I watch. The first is food that's designed for backpacking. Your Mountain Houses, a couple other brands as well that are out there. Those are specifically foods that are dehydrated for camping to take on your trip, and it's made specifically for that. Those can cost a little bit more on the expensive side, but I was able to find videos that showed how you can just get regular supermarket food without getting specific backpacking food. And that budget food, that regular supermarket food, is what I used on my trail. I didn't go for the backpacking food. I just went for foods you can find in any supermarket, any 99-cent store, any Walmart. And in fact, all the food that I got came from 99-cent store or the Dollar Tree. I said supermarket, but as you know, if you've been to a 99-cent store or Dollar Tree, you know they have little freezer sections, supermarket sections as well. So that's where I got it from. But all that food was dehydrated. I mean, like your ramens, Uncle Ben's rice, a couple other things as well. The only thing that wasn't dehydrated that I used on the trail was little single packets of Spam. Well, those weren't dehydrated, but they were air sealed so that they could last a good long time. So as far as storage goes, I didn't have to refrigerate anything or do any special storage for anything. I just carried it as is. The only thing I did was for the Uncle Ben's rice and the Cajun rice that I took, those came in boxes, which would have been too bulky to carry. So I took those out of the boxes and put them into freezer bags, and carried them that way. It made them a little bit more carryable. As far as storage, no special storage. The only thing I did was I took all my food and I put it in this exact bag. This bag is what I carried all my food in. 3 days worth of food, wrapped it all in here. If you go to the 52-minute and 49-second mark of the video that I took on my camping trip, you'll see this bag with the food in it after I'd hung it up in a tree to keep it from the bears. So you'll see the bag there, and that was all my food. There was nothing else. There was, again, no refrigeration, no special storage. Just wrapping it up. Didn't need it because it was freeze dried or air sealed. So just carried it in the bag, and that was the way I carried it. And what I'll do for you too is I'll link a couple of the videos that I watched that showed me different food recommendations that you can get at any supermarket. I'll link that down below, because again, those videos helped make this affordable enough for me to go out and do what I needed to do and have a lot of fun. So I'll link those below. Now, as far as the technique that I use to do my cooking, I use a technique called freezer bag cooking. Now, everything that I need to do freezer bag cooking is contained in this little container. everything that is, except for the actual freezer bag, which I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, everything is here. Now, let me go ahead and show you everything that's in here. First of all is the koozie itself. This is a koozie, handmade, made it out of, you know, those windshield screen protectors. Made it out of that using duct tape and sewed pieces from that, which I'll link down below a technique how to make that. But yeah, this is the koozie, very important part of the cooking system. And inside the koozie, we have a lid that goes to the pot that's here. And inside of this pot is another pot. I'm going to set the koozie down for a minute since I won't need it for a while. And inside of this pot is the fuel that I need to do the cooking. And this is the actual stove that uses the fuel. So this is everything that I need here. Like I said, minus the koozie, which is down below. But we got the, again, we've got the koozie, we've got this big pot, small pot, which really isn't used for cooking, and I'll show you what I use it for, but the stove and the fuel. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the stove, now, and you're going to swing these around so that they're completely, form a little ring like this. You flip these out. This will allow your pot to sit on top like this. And you take your and you can do what I just did before after you screw it on, but eventually you screw it onto your fuel like I'm doing here. Okay, now once you've got your stove screwed on, you just get your pot and you fill it with water. And what I would, my pot has handles, so what I would do is go down to the stream, and I would just scoop it into the water and fill it that way. Didn't have to purify the water because I'm going to boil it anyway, so any impurities are going to be boiled out and killed through that process, so that wasn't a big deal. But since I don't have a stream here, I got my handy water bottle, so I'm going to go ahead and fill the pot up. Not all the way, just enough to do the cooking that I need. Okay, so now that I've got the water inside of it, then all I have to do is set it on top of the stove here, like so. Okay, so now this particular stove has a little handle here that if I turn it like this, you hear the gas start to come through. And then all I have to do is push this little button, and there's the flame, as you can see. And it starts the boiling process. Now if I want to turn the heat up, all I have to do is turn this a little bit more counterclockwise, and as you can see, the fire gets going a little bit more. And it doesn't take long for this to start the water boiling, not at all. So as you can see, there's bubbles already starting to form, and it hasn't even been going for a minute yet. So this boils really, really, really fast. So what I'm going to do is, to help it boil even faster, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. And just wait, not too long. Once the water's finished boiling, you just turn the stove off. And you turn it in the opposite direction. So to get the heat on, you turn it counterclockwise. So to turn it off, you're just going to go clockwise. See? There you go. And when the water is finished boiling, I'm not going to do this here because I don't have actual food, because like I said, I'm just showing you the technique, not the actual food. So basically you would take the water, I'm going to take this off the stove right now, you can see the heat's off. It doesn't take long for these to cool down either, so I'm just going to put it to the side. But what I would do next is take the koozie, and I would take the freezer bag, and in my videos you saw that I already had food inside the freezer bag that I packed with me, and as I mentioned in this video that I would take the Uncle Ben's rice and all, and I would already have it in a freezer bag because I took it out of the box for carrying. So I would just take that food in the freezer bag, put any other ingredients I wanted to put in there, like in addition to the rice, I added some canned chicken, So a couple other things as well that I had, and then I put it into the bag, and then I would take the boiling water from here and pour it into the bag. And as I said, you want to use freezer strength freezer bags, because if you use any other type of bag, any type of storage bag, it won't be able to withstand the heat. It will just melt and your food will just go pouring on the ground. You want a freezer strength freezer bag that can take the heat. You pour the boiling water into here with the food, and then you seal it. Make sure you seal it, because the first time I did this, I thought I had it sealed and it wasn't completely sealed, and it leaked out in my koozie and I had to redo it. But anyway, so you take it here, and then what you do is you take the food in the freezer bag and you put it in the koozie like so. Just sit it there. And then once you've got it inside, just go ahead and put the top on like so. And because it's heat resistant, it keeps the heat inside. So the heat that's from the boiling water stays inside, cooks the food inside like an oven, and not that long you've got a good cooked meal. Now, the cooking time that I use, whatever the cooking time said on the instructions for the box for Uncle Ben's or whatever, I would take that time and maybe add 10 minutes or so just to help it thoroughly cook. And it came out pretty well. And so basically that was the system that I used. It was a very good system, enjoyed it, and that's it. So hopefully that can help you know how to cook your food out there when you're out there on the trail, and hopefully it can help you get out on the trail by demystifying how to cook and how to eat out there. So hopefully you enjoy yourself and have a good time. Thank you.